Hello everyone, Alex here from warnoffkeys.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can create an anti-advertising system. So a lot of the times people are going to be joining your Discord with the only intention to spam their own invite link and to try and get your users to join their Discord, and obviously you don't want this. So we're going to be creating a system in this video that automatically detects whenever an invite to a different Discord and not your own Discord is posted inside of your Discord, and then we're going to automatically delete that and then ban the user. So to get started, I'm going to make a new file. This will be called anti-ad.js, and this will simply export a function. So module.exports. This function is going to have one argument, which will be the client. We can save this and going into our main file. And if you want access to all these files, there is a link to the GitHub repository, which can be found in the video description. However, in this video, you can code along from scratch or within your own project. So inside of your main file, you then want to import anti-ad. So we're going to set that to require anti-ad, and then we're going to simply call that, passing in our client. We can now save and close this file. Everything will be inside of our anti-ad.js. Now the first thing we want to do is detect whenever a message is sent. So client.onMessage, and we're going to get a message callback. Here we want to destructure a few things. So we're going to want access to the member as well as the content property from the message object. So after this, we then want to see if the content, which is the actual text the message contains, if that is going to contain a Discord invite link. And so an example invite link is this one, and they're usually always in this format. So we have https discord.gg and then / some random string here. However, this can include HTTP as well. So we mostly want to see if this will contain discord.gg /. So we can say if content.includes discord.gg /, then we're going to assume that this is an advertisement. Now, for whatever reason, just in case one of your users are sending your own invite to the Discord, that isn't really a malicious intent, and so we're not going to actually do anything with that. With that said, we then have to fetch all of the actual invites and make sure that whatever this one is an actual invite for this Discord. So we're going to create a function. This will be called const isInvite. We're going to have a code, which is going to be the random digits at the end here. And we also want a guild. So here we can say guild.fetchInvites. And this is going to use a promise. So we can use .then, and then we're going to get some invites. So for now, we can console log the invites and see what it has. So to call this function, we can simply say isInvite and then pass in guild and the actual code. And so for now, I'm just going to pass in an empty string because it doesn't matter. However, we need access to the guild, and so we can also destructure that from the message object. So we can save this and run our bot with node index.js. So going into Discord, I can then paste in this right here. And we're going to get this information right here. So if we scroll up, we see that this is all of the different invites that have been created. And we see that the warnoffkeys bot is automatically going to say that this is an invite, and so it's going to delete it. We'll just ignore that for now, but scrolling up further, we see all this information about the different actual invites. And so we actually want to loop through these. And so we're actually going to return a new promise. So return await new promise with resolve being the only option we care about. Now, because we're using await, this has to be an asynchronous function. Here we're going to loop through all the invites. So for const invite of invites, and here we can console log the actual invite. And this will make it a little bit easier for us to read. So if we restart this again, and I go to, if I go to copy this, and I go to paste it inside of our channel, we then see a bunch of information, but we see exactly where it starts. Right here is invite. Now you see that this is an array with the first element being the actual ID or the code. Now the second element is going to be the actual invite, which holds some information. And we'll look at some of this stuff in the future videos, but for now, we just care about the first element. So we can actually change this to invite index 0. Now if I save and restart this, I can then paste in this again, and we see the actual invite code right here. And so now we want to see if this actual code that we're sending matches one of these. So we have access to the code in this variable right here. However, we're passing in an empty string, but that's fine for now. Here I want to say, if code is exactly equal to invite index 0, we want to resolve true, and we also want to return. However, after the for loop, if it reached this point, that means that the code provided is not part of one of our actual invites. So we can resolve with false. And so here we can say const is our invite equals this, and we can console log is our invite. So now I'm going to copy this right here, I'm going to run the bot again, and I'm going to paste this in. It says promise pending. That's because we actually have to have this be await, and that means that this function has to be asynchronous. So we can save and restart. We can then paste this in again, and it says false, and that's because we're passing in an empty string. So now we want to actually gain access to the information based off of the actual string that the user sent. So we essentially want to split on discord.gg and then get the remaining parts. So we can say const code equals content.split discord.gg index of 1. The reason for this is once we split it, we're going to have an array where, let's say we have https discord.gg as the first element, and then the actual code, which is this one, as the second element. And so this is actually index 1, and so we're going to access that. Now with that said, if I copy this and we pass in code instead of an empty string here, let's also console log code just to make sure everything's working as we expect it to. We can save and restart the bot. Going back into Discord, I can paste this in, and it says true. And so now if I were to paste in something like, let's change this 4 to a 5, it would then say false because we don't know about that invite. And that's also an invalid invite, but that's fine. So now what we can do is, if not is our invite, we want to actually mute, ban, or kick this user. Now I've covered these in previous videos, and those will be linked in the video description. But for now, we can just simply say member.ban, or if you prefer member.kick, or you can write your own custom mute functionality based off of the mute command that we wrote in a previous video. Either one of those, or however you want to actually handle that, can be used right here, because here is, we know that they are advertising an outside Discord server. And so you could take the appropriate action right here. Thanks for watching this Discord.js tutorial. If you want to learn more about Discord.js, consider clicking on the playlist you see on your screen now. If you need help, feel free to leave a comment or ask in the Worn Off Keys Discord, which can be found in the video description.